first time. So, all right. So just so everybody knows, this thing's all the people are listed. Everything's all set up. When I submit here, it will randomize the draft order, and then it will let me reveal them one by one. So we can have a little bit of drama.
Yeah, reverse order?
Yes, in reverse order.
Wow.
So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then...
Is this one of you and Eric's websites? The graphics kind of look about your level.
This is what Eric's been working on in his free time. It's rigged to give Levanti the first pick all the time. So
see if it works.
All right. So at 12.
Check, please.
A big drop for the guy in witness protection. At 11, Mr. Levanti down at the bottom of the draft. Pick 10, 5-time Lester. And Aaron, that's a reference to the fact that Mitchell has now lost 5 fantasy bowls without winning any. So he has broken the Bud Grant and Marv Levy record for futility at 0-5. So
as bad as it sounds, I'll have to give you a play-by-play, game-by-game breakdown. It's really it's an odd thing and probability.
I'm sure there's a good excuse for every incident.
It's terrible.
The story always ends the same way.
It does.
Spoiler alert.
A lack of completion.
So for those keeping score, I will have the 11th pick out of the keepers and now the 12th pick out of the draft. So out of the first 24, I have 11 and 24.
But then you have 75 picks in rounds 2, 3, and 4. So we don't have a lot of sympathy for you there.
I'm hoping you end up really high because I've got one of yours.
Well, I do not.
Oh, there goes that.
But I may be able to be really high in other ways, but not with my draft pick. Number 8, Zach. Number 7, Huss.
All right.
A lot of people here still involved. Number 6, James. Wow. From first to 6th.
A lot of movement.
Jimbo with the 5. Romig at the 4.
Oh no.
Going.
Ridden with the 3.
Oh boy.
Perkins with the 2. And Seth, number 1. So there you go. Look at it. Enjoy it. Study it. I'll update the site. Get it all put in and squared away. And then, as I said, once I hear from James, I will. Oh, by the way, to make it worse, Aaron, Mitchell's little brother has won several fantasy bowls, and so in an effort to look like he's doing well, Mitchell often claims records for the Lester family. So,
I mean, look, we have dominant. I mean, look, Lester's won a fantasy bowl like 11, 12 of the 20 years or something. So that's
Well, you guys,
pretty dominant family.
How many times have you won, Mitchell?
I might. It doesn't matter. I mean, look, it's a dynasty. It's a family dynasty. What can I say? I mean, I sometimes give him tips, which has led to
James
winning
feels
them.
the same way.
Yes, yeah, he owes a lot to me actually in all those wins. But I'm a subtle guy. I don't really like go out there and take a lot of credit and stuff. And he's might give me some advice that didn't work out so well. So hey, whatever.
Hey, Aaron,
Mitchell, you are not subtle.
Together, it's a dominating situation. Z, get that.
Aaron, you may remember, who is it? There's like a baseball tandem for like the brothers who hold like the record for most home runs or something, but it's one guy has one and the other guy has all of them. I can't remember. Who is it?
it might be the Canseco's.
Maybe. Could be.
It's Hank Aaron. It's Hank Aaron and little Billy Aaron, and Mitchell's little Billy.
There you go.
It's Barry Bonds and Bail Bonds.
I think we're gonna change your name to little Billy from now on, or a Lil Bill. How about that, Lil Bill?
Z Canseco.
Hey, Larry.
Yes.
Hey, stupid question, but because of the keeper thing, does that mean that it'll start snaking on the second round? Really?
Correct. It's the first pick of the second round.
That's what I'm saying. Is I don't know why people, getting the first pick, it's like,
but still fine. You pick before everybody
Number
else.
13.
I'd rather have 13th and 24th.
Yeah, why would you not want 13 over
You
24?
do.
Sorry, hey Larry, I missed the beginning. Sorry, I missed the beginning. The other list that you had up when I first got here is for what? That's for
Oh, that was just how many the randomization of this draft.
got it.
So that was all
So the first round is basically people who didn't keep anyone,
correct.
and then after you do that, we're going in this order.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah.
you.
So first round is either your keeper or the supplemental selection to pick if you don't have a keeper. 6 of us kept players, 6 did not. Mitchell's little brother is on the clock for the first keeper pick. As you missed earlier, I've told everybody I sent him a note 72 hours ago asking him to make a pick from anyone but the 6 kept players, and he still has not yet been able to figure out who it is he wants. But technically he has until Friday. So once I hear from him though, I'll move forward. And as I get each pick, I'll let everybody know who's taken. And then the other thing that we talked about before you got here is, because we're, not everybody, I guess, sort of even on this call knows, because I haven't sent out I did send out all the rule stuff, right? The IR slot this year, which was new last year, which was COVID specific last year. We're actually keeping a non-COVID specific IR. But you can't pick up a player who's on IR just to put them on IR. The one exception to that rule is Michael Thomas during the draft. So he can be drafted and then put on IR after he is drafted.
Only Michael Thomas or anyone who's on the draft IR right now?
I think anyone who's on the IR who's drafted can get put in an IR slot. And then once the season starts, you cannot pick up free agents just to sort of stash them in an IR slot and hoard them. But
Travis Etienne, you can pick.
Exactly. So I'll send out an email about it just to update everybody who's not on here and let's make sure everybody knows. But that was
Sorry, what would be the benefit of doing that if they're going to be out for the entire season?
Well, if they're out for the whole season, they're not. But IR is now returnable in the NFL. So Michael Thomas is on like a 4-week IR or whatever. He can come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no benefit to taking anyone who's on a season IR unless it's someone you think is so great that you want to hold them all year and keep them
Right,
for next
Mahomes
year.
was an IR for this year.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. But they changed the designation like 3 years ago to make it so that some guys can get designated IR with return and some guys are just designated as IR out for the year. So Thomas is coming back in theory. And so rather than have him be a free agent or something in week 6, where he's a waiver claim, it's better to let those guys be picked. And since we have such a short bench with only 3 people, it seems unfair and we have the IR slot to force you to keep them on your roster in an active slot. But so I'll update that, and then I'll update everybody once the keeper stuff starts. And I think that's it for me, but happy to answer any questions or go into anything else or continue to abuse Mitchell more if anybody has anything.
No, I have a question. It's not abusing me, but somebody think about in the future. What about having the keepers? They do that where they keep their round value. So
yeah, it's something.
DK Metcalf 5th round. You pick him, and you lose your 5th round pick next year. And so it kind of changes the equation.
Something Lee has suggested in the past. It is a bit more of a management pain in the ass and headache, and I have to worry about keeping track of where every single player got drafted and what round they're in and all that nonsense.
Well, why should we care about that?
Yeah.
Well, I would have to. I would have to know about all
I'm just
that,
kidding.
right?
I'm just kidding.
But anyway, so it's something on that has not dropped off the potential future agenda list, but
it's a pain in the ass.
It's just a little bit more of a pain. Yeah, managing the IR thing is also a pain because I have to keep track of when the guys come back and make sure that people activate people or cut people if they don't activate them. So because you can't keep the guy stashed on IR if he comes back. So doesn't Yahoo not let you make moves if you have a guy on IR who is eligible? I think it might not let you pick up a free agent, but it'll let you keep that player stuck on your IR forever if you don't need to make a waiver move, I believe.
Yes, so it kind of helps you a little bit there, I would think. But yeah, that's a pain.
So it's fine. It's just and everybody here is really good about pointing out anything that somebody else might be doing, so, especially if it's a player on IR that they might want should he get waived.
Yes.
So
Kudos to Seth out there. I think Seth's strong in that category.
He's far and away not the only one, so don't think that's the case. Yeah, so it's something maybe down the road I can let's see how this goes with managing the IR and everything this year, and how much of a pain it is, and what kind of headaches we get with 18 weeks and 17 games and all that kind of nonsense. And then we'll kind of see how things go going forward.
Hey, question, Larry. I feel like at some point, over the years, when there were kind of proposed changes to the rules, there was some. Was it always a dictatorship, or is there sort of voting at one point?
No, there was voting back a long time ago, and then there was actually a substantial push from a number of people that I wasn't being strong and forceful enough, and so I decided to eliminate the voting and to ask for opinions. But then ultimately make the decisions that I felt were best. And so I've taken on the benevolent dictator role, and I did ask a lot of. I asked everybody for opinion. I'd say that probably about 8 out of the 12 people actually got back to me with opinions on stuff, and I factored the majority side of those opinions into the decisions that I made.
Okay.
So the only one that wasn't ever really a debate was the division question, but other than that, everything else was. And
I don't know where the votes stand on that. Actually, there was a vote.
There hasn't been one.
Still stand? It would still stand, or is this just a Putin thing you're doing?
I don't know. There's no votes. I can't tell you. I don't know, but I did in all seriousness, Seth. I did take all of the opinions I got back from folks. And actually have a whole little chart of people who felt strongly about certain things and who didn't care about certain things and who were against certain things. And I tried very much to manage the decisions based on where people's ideas and preferences were, particularly the ones who had strong opinions on stuff.
Good to know.
Yeah, you've been more willing to evolve over the years, frankly, which has been good for the league.
I kind of very, very polite diplomatic blow off. Something, quote unquote, something to think about.
It is. It's on. I got a whole list of feature ideas. It's on the list. It's definitely there. It's in the saved for 2022 conversation section of my list. But yeah, no, I look. I think more changes can happen. Look, we've been very traditional in the stat categories, and the rules haven't really changed much in 20 years. And I think in the past 5 years, they've probably changed more than they had in the 15 before that. And I think, as we continue to go, I think we'll see more and more along those lines. But I do think that there's something to be said for, the structure that we've had for the length of time we've had it, and the keeping everybody together, and sort of the consistency of not trying to change things too dramatically such that the league gameplay is materially impacted. It's one of the concerns I had when I was looking at like PPR, for instance, which conceptually I sort of like, but I worry a lot about, what that does to the value of running backs and how that changes the draft and keepers and all of just sort of the statistical values and scoring systems. And so, I just get a little nervous about drastic changes in terms of it messing with what we've been doing that has worked.
Yeah. Well, even like quarterback, touchdown 6 points, like it's probably overvalued, but if you've been doing it for 20 years, you shouldn't lower it to something else. I mean, that does kind of chip away at the core of the league and what it's been all about. So, in that kind of sense, it seems like, yeah, you want to keep a lot of those rules in place like that. And that's where I even like PPR. I like PPR, but do I want PPR in LarryLeague? We never had it. I mean, in taking opinions in from folks too, that is the other side of some of the stuff that I think about, just in terms of, making sure that we're not changing things up in a way that dramatically alters the gameplay we've had for a long time. But look, the IR didn't exist before last year. Everybody liked it. We're keeping it, right? So, I'm not against making changes that make things better. I just want to make sure that we're smart about how we do it. Yeah, like thank God we're not doing the fancy bowl the last week of the season. That can lead to some very unfair losses by teams who have put together amazing seasons all during the year, and then they have to rely on Sterling Shepard to outperform Derrick Henry in the last game, for example. And it
Dude,
really
Sterling
creates a
Shepard went
disadvantage.
off
And I don't want to
for
hear this shit about like, oh, shows how strong of a manager you are because you picked up that third string wide receiver from
Sterling
Philadelphia.
Shepard scored 2
No one does
touchdowns,
that. I've
by
talked
the
to
way.
people for years and told them that, and they're like, who are you playing fantasy football with? I've never heard of such a thing. It must completely statistically throw off everything that people do, especially in that final game. And, you know, it's like, look, you got to deal with what you got to do. But luckily, that's all gone now. So it's kind of like
Hey, look, you
now we'll really kind of see from this moment forward who the best players are and who the real goats and champions are. And I look forward to winning this league multiple times now that
Hey,
we're
Larry.
playing a normal system.
let me mute Mitchell so you can speak.
Larry, is it too late to rescind my acceptance of?
Keep
Yes.
Jagger's look. I don't know if you saw my first post, but nobody liked you in the beginning, and nobody likes you now.
Oh, he saw it just
So,
a week late, but he saw it. All right, I gotta hop. I gotta go take care of my kid. Good to see you guys. Oh wait, do we know who has a paid Zoom account? Does anyone have a paid Zoom account? Someone
I
did.
might have used it last year, but I don't have it anymore.
I don't
think
remember.
it was Jesse last year.
I think it was Jesse.
I think it was.
All right,
I think it was Jesse.
I'll follow up and harass him because I want to get us set up for the draft, and I don't have one, and I don't want us to get cut off at 40. So, all
I, mean,
right,
I have one. I mean, let's try Jesse. I mean,
I'm gonna try.
I could
Jesse.
probably do it,
I'm
but I
gonna
won't
try
do it.
Jesse before you. Don't worry about it. There's
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
thanks, Larry.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so I'll check in with him, but thank you, and I'll see you guys soon.
All right, see you later.
See you guys.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.